cut in tonight with everyone at level 10. The Sun Sword is now in your possession, and you are in the back chamber of the temple, and ready to do what?
This would be what, mid-morning now, or still early morning?
I think you kind of lost track of time a little bit. So I'm going to not answer that until you actually stick your heads out of the temple.
That's a fair call. Well,
but last you knew, there were 4 nights until the wedding.
So we need to get cracking, right? Because it took us 3 nights to get here. So I vote we leave.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. Have
I'm
we
running out of room.
pretty much searched Cage's room?
We're going to have to get our timing right to get past the Amber Golem, right? I think in terms of Flaming Skulls versus Amber Golem, it's tough.
What did we do with his heart in the box deal?
I thought you took the heart in the box, did you? Did you pick it up?
I think it's sitting on the desk still.
Okay. Sorry, I was just scanning over. Yeah, we opened the box. It had a blackened heart with a knife cut on it.
You think we should take it with us?
It's a very good question. Let me, sorry, I'm going to, is it an insight check, Dunk? I want to check if I know anything in my monkish history about anything to do with this kind of black magic, hearts with cuts in it. Should we be destroying it, taking it with us, blah, blah, blah. History?
Yeah, it could be a history check.
Wow, that didn't go so well, did it? Can you see my history check? I can see it on screen.
Yeah, but also, is your video off still, or?
Yep, hang on. I can turn it back on. I just had it off because my internet was being really slow.
I hate it when something's changed because, like, your role has come up somewhere, to be honest.
I can see it on my screen.
But can anyone see it in the...
it's not in the chat, though, is it?
Yeah.
No.
My Chrome did do an update, though, yesterday.
It's come in on the game log, but that's so weird.
If I use D&D's digital dice, force critical hits. Sorry, I'm just having a look through.
Okay.
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. Like something, you know how like you just feel like, because like everything in Chrome has just like completely died for me, and now suddenly I'm feeling like I think everything's died.
Well,
Did
that
anyone
happened
else
to me yesterday.
have it come up in the chat?
No, it didn't come up for me.
Okay.
So I just tried to roll Arcana and got 11, so I can see it and it's coming.
Oh, it just came up.
You just got
Did it?
Yeah, you just did an Arcana check.
All I did was turn a few things on and off in D&D Beyond.
Okay. Alright. Cool. Okay, so you did a history check before though.
Let's see if it rolls again.
Sorry,
it's coming up now.
History check before? That was an 11.
The history check before was, an 11.
Yeah. So look, no, nothing, you sort of have the feeling that there is something about this box with this heart in it that's shriveled, but nothing that sort of gives you any insight to the current predicament.
I'm feeling like, because I heard him reciting a necromantic spell, which I didn't really have time to tell the party about, but he was chanting something to kill you, Starfire, and then bring you back as a zombie. It was my take on it, and I'm not very comfortable about leaving the heart with the body here, knowing he's a necromancer or involved in necromancy these days. So I think I'm going to take the heart with me. Unless anyone really objects. We can figure out what to do with it later.
Yeah, we might need to burn it or something, though.
I'm thinking that too.
Cage coming back a third time would not be much fun.
Matt, you're muted if you're
Snake.
trying to say anything, or you're talking off screen.
Sorry, Katie's just called me. She had a car accident, so I'm just trying to listen to both of what's going on.
Ah,
Oh no.
Right. Bernard's paying attention now.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit.
it's like, Katie who?
Never heard of her.
Exactly. No.
Bernard, Bernard.
I'm here.
Okay.
I know all about it. I've been knowing about it since 11 o'clock today.
Ah, right. Well, there we go.
I doubt anyone's particularly interested in Katie's fender bender.
Right. Okay. All right. So what's your intention now? I guess what would you guys sort of want to do? So tell me about what your plan is for the box with the black heart, and then let's sort of discuss on a more macro level what your intention is here at the temple.
The box with the black heart? I'm thinking I'll take it with me.
So
Get it away from Cage's body.
So you're gonna keep it? You're gonna wrap it? Anything, or just put it in your backpack, carry it in your hand? Give me some idea what your intention is.
I think I'm going to wrap it in something and put it in my backpack. And pay attention to if it starts ticking or something.
It starts ticking. Okay, that's all right.
Beating loudly, doing anything unusual in my backpack. And I might do an Arcana check just to see if that gives me any further insights into it. Is that all right?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, no further insights are received by such process. So now you've done that. Cage's body remains. The sword is in your possession. Now I did give you guys a link to it last time. Is that correct? So you should be able to see it in your respective bits. I can see that the sun sword is showing.
You did.
So can I ask who's carrying it at this point?
Not
I
me.
thought it was Nikki.
And who's attuned to it?
I wasn't carrying the sun sword. I think Starfire was.
Oh. So it was in the holding, sorry. Maria, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah. No, I picked up the sun sword and I attuned to it.
You are.
So it's on my.
We haven't attuned to it yet. I guess what I'm trying
I'm
to understand
working
is,
on
yeah,
it.
is who's attuning to it. So, Starfire, you're going to be attuning to the sun sword.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I shall let you know at what point that you feel that process has concluded successfully or otherwise.
Okay.
What I need you to do right now is give me a wisdom saving throw.
Sure. Mm. Can you see it done?
I certainly can. Alright.
I'm guessing that's okay.
I didn't ask you to do anything else other than just roll for me. There's no guessing required. Okay, so on a sort of bit of a macro level, what's your intent here with the Amber Temple?
It's to get out. We've got the sword. We've got a wedding to get to. I've got a hat to buy. All those things that, you've got to prep for a wedding. We need to think carefully about a present to Strahd if we're going to hand him the jug of wine, the wine-making jug. Can't go empty-handed. Who wants out of the temple? Pick me. Yeah.
We got what we came for. Let's leave.
Yeah. We can always come back and explore later after the wedding. I think we're in big trouble if we miss the wedding.
Yeah. It's a major plot point we should show up for, right?
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. Ben, are you good to get out of the temple?
Ben?
We're going to take silence as golden. I said, are you good to get out of the temple?
Yeah, I'm ambivalent about it, to be honest. Happy to go if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. So it's 3 nights to Strahd's wedding, right? Dunk, I think you said?
Yes, so coming out of the temple, you now realise that it is the beginning of the dawn of a new day, and so indeed there are now 3 nights. Originally you thought there were 4, but there are now 3 nights having left the temple. So I'm not going to ask you guys to navigate yourselves out. I'm going to say that essentially, with using an abundance of caution, you have managed to find yourselves back at the entry to the Amber Temple, and you are now standing outside amongst the ice and snow that makes up Barovia. And
We've got past the flaming skulls.
yes, you have successfully navigated past the flaming skulls.
I thought we were going Amber Golem way.
And you're now outside the Amber Temple, looking back towards it.
Nice. What a magnificent piece of architecture.
So, you find yourselves now facing a path that takes you to the southeast, back along the icy peaks of Mount Garcus, and I guess hopefully you guys can see the map. Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Mm-mm.
Oh, nice.
What about now?
Yep.
So yeah, so you find yourselves outside the Amber Temple. with a road leading to the southeast.
So this is the same way we came in.
Yep, it certainly is.
Okay. Back to the cold.
Okay, so after an hour or 2 hours, you find yourselves here now, and you essentially are doubling back now, back to the northwest, and making your way down. So this is the day that will see the third night. So once you get to this evening, you will cross off the third night and have 2 nights left before what you recall is the wedding of the land. So far you've been travelling for about 3 hours. 4 hours now, and you're heading back towards the Slink Pass. And 6 hours. And at about 7 hours, you find yourselves back at the Slinker Pass. Now, you might recall here, you came from the northeast, but the road continues to the northwest. And I'm sure you guys have your respective maps that you've been navigating along. So, what is your intention? Obviously, the township of Valaki lays almost due north of you. But of course it's now Vaktaholt. There was the swampy village to the northeast that you saw across the river, and you have been to Argenvosholt to the far east. So yes, so these are sort of all options for you guys to consider. So, what would you guys like to do?
Do we want to go via Perez? Or do we want to head straight down Garcas and then, is it Sare Falls? Cross country?
Just trying to bring up my map, so I'm not sure yet.
Yeah. So at the moment we're at that bridge, which is to the west of Mount Garcas.
Yeah.
So okay, that's further
Sort of
along. So
almost to the
Pass.
north of you is the
it's the ruins of Beres
Argenvosholt.
and Argenvosholt. Yeah.
So Argenvosholt's to the north. The Lunar River. Now you might remember you guys jumped out of the coach, which is why you were on the eastern banks of the Lunar River. The old windmill is on the road on the eastern side to the north. Vaktaholt, of course, on the old Salovich Road, almost northeast of you, through Argenvostholt, of course. The Slinker Pass runs all the way up to the Raven River Crossroads, which is where you passed some time ago coming from the winery in Gester Hill.
So we're going to have to hunt and gather as we go, because we didn't have that many rations, did we?
But we've got the jug of wine making, which might help keep us cool.
That's right.
Well, you can make water, which is good, but on the food side, my survival check just sucked, so it might be up to Fisk to find food for us. Okay, so just looking at my map of Barovia.
Do you want me to make some water?
Yeah, I'm guessing we can fill our water skins here at the river and then maybe make some water further up in the swamp section. Maybe. Okay, so Dunk, we'll do some hunting and gathering to supplement our meager rations. Hunt and gather as we walk forward.
Okay, but where are you guys going to go? Because this is a sort of important set of questions, because you have essentially 3 nights before the wedding,
Yeah.
and you have some considerable distance to go if you're going to go anywhere other than where you are. So what I want to understand is, I get that you're going to hunt and gather, but I'm more interested is, where are you going? Like, what are you sticking to the Slinker Pass and winding on the way up through the
Just trying to
hills?
open my map so I can get some perspective.
I think that's
So-
my suggestion is you guys take a little bit of time to work this out, because
Yeah. Till I open my map, I can't see anything. I don't know what's going on. The map's just taking forever to load off Roll20.
So, as an insight check, Dunk, is that the right thing for the map? To get insight in terms of where
I think you
You've
can,
got to look at the
you can
map.
just have a look at the map.
No, this is
Which I'm
me
trying
looking
to
at
do.
this is me looking at the map and insightfully trying to work out what is the quickest way to get to Ravenloft.
Yeah, have a look at the map.
Yeah, but there's lots of hills and up and down, so that's why I'm saying.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the map that has the red flag in the bottom right hand side, you're at the
Yep.
Slanker Pass,
Mhm.
Lunar Lake, right?
Yep.
And you've got the
Yep.
old town of Perez, you've got Argenvost, you've got the road that winds, that's called the Slinker Pass, up to the river crossroads, like Lake Baratok, and then across to Lake Zarovich and Thukta House, or the old Valaki. Okay. Then from the Slinker Pass, you can also go up to across it and up to Argenvost, and then up to the Lunar River crossing, and across. Or you could navigate yourselves from the Slinker Pass all the way up to the old Bone Grinder, and then in through the gates of Ravenloft, and then to Castle Ravenloft. Okay, so you've got, they're sort of your major options that you've got, based on your appreciation and insight to that. Is
Yeah,
everyone
I
looking
thought
at?
of the old.
Can everyone see the map?
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So I was thinking the old Bone Grinder might be fastest, and then road to Ravenloft.
To stay on this side of the Lunar River.
Stay on the eastern side.
Yeah, on the
Yeah.
eastern side. Yeah,
And
I was
just-
thinking that too.
It's just following the ridge all around the lake, and then up to Old Bone Grinder, and then across to Ravenloft. Because I was thinking if we went the other way, we're up and down quite steep ridges and contours. This is what I was trying to work out, is whether it would be any faster climbing. Probably not.
Probably not.
And then it was whether the lake that we see to the east, directly across from the ruins of Bearers, if that was flowing towards Ravenloft, whether there was anything we could do to make up time and get off before the Sayre falls. Nobody has build boat.
No.
Useful? No.
I could
A
use
raft.
Build a Dolphin.
Yeah, you haven't seen anything huge or massive you could turn into, right? You
No,
can't.
dolphin's about the biggest thing I've seen
Okay.
that can swim.
What about the dragon hand? Can you turn into a dragon?
I think that might have a too high a difficulty, although I'll just check that, given I'm at level 10 now. That difficulty might have changed. Probably not into dragon though, I suspect.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's no more obvious route I can see. How about you, Fisk?
Yeah, my map is, for some reason, is taking forever to open. So at the moment, I can't see that bit.
Do you want me to share screen?
Yeah, it's like my browser's kind of, it's not frozen, but it's just not loading this now.
Do you think that would help if I shared screen, or will that upset your browser even more?
Give me a sec. I'm just... Oh. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, it looks like it's using 99.98% of my CPU right now.
Wow.
Which is why everything's going so slow.
That's really not good.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, so we're at the Salenka Pass, and we're looking at which one. So we're thinking of going across the bridge and then following the river up past Agenvolstoff.
So
we hit another crossing to get across to whatever was Valaki.
I think we were thinking of staying on the other side of the river and going up.
Yeah, so staying on the east and like the way we came down along that ridge and then across. So if we stay east, you can follow that other waterway as well.
So not
to
cross
Safe Falls.
the bridge.
So not cross the bridge, stay east.
If you stay east, you've got to cross 2 tributaries and then a very big river at some point as it widens up into the pond.
No, if we stay east, we go, we stay on that ridge line. It's very hard without a pointer, but if you see it winds round, you can stay on a ridge and then come across and below the woods, then staying to the north of Safe Falls, and then you can join the road. So there's no crossing of tributaries.
But it's... so you're not crossing the bridge from the Amber Temple side?
No, so where it says Salenka Pass on the map, we stay on that side, go back the ridge we came on and around that pond. It's a bit like Bearstein Bears, and then you head around that finger of the pond, follow the ridge, and then cross across the top into that bit of wood that is to the southwest of the gates of Ravenloft. You follow along, keeping north of Safe Falls until we hit the road, and then we could...
That looks really mountainous, though.
But if we stay on the top of the ridgeline, like we did the way most of it, we come round. It's a bit of a longer ridgeline. So you get to the old bone grinder. So we can go all the way, follow the same ridge to the bone grinder, and then come across to the gates of Ravenloft and follow the road. Or if we wanted to sneak around, we could do just north of Safe Falls, but then that becomes more complicated. So it's easy to go to the bone grinder by the looks of it, because it looks like the same ridgeline we're following. And then we'd just drop down to the old bone grinder. So that was one option.
Yeah, I just seen that we're going through mountains and forests and all sorts of things which will slow us right down. We still have to cross a river, no matter what.
No, we don't. Not if we go to the old bone grinder.
So if we cross the bridge, we don't have to cross the river.
No, if we're staying to the eastern side.
Different map.
Nikki, do you want to try and share screen? I just tried and I couldn't share screen.
Search working?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you know where we're
Can you
describing, Nikki? Yep.
So we're here at Selenka Pass. Were we talking about following one of these ridges around
Correct. Yep.
to, like, around to the old bone grinder?
Yep.
And then
join the
bit of
road.
road. So there shouldn't be any forest, but
All I'm saying is that's a lot of mountains and valleys and forests. It's not,
yeah.
not a paved
But if-
road. So you may think it's real quick, but it's going to be a real long way through.
But if you're sticking to the ridge line, though, if we're staying on the ridge, it would be flat, right? The way we came was sticking to the ridge.
There's lots of ridges that go down and up because there's Mount Garcus, then there's the mountains or hills beyond that, then there's the forest.
So just to confirm, so the little hash lines are essentially elevation lines. So I guess what Maria is saying is kind of right. If you stick in between two of those lines, you're not going up or down. You know, there'll be minor fluctuations, but you're not doing significant ups or downs. If you stick and run the ridge line around, does that make sense? So it's like that is a contour line. So you're basically contouring your way around those hills, etc., at the same altitude. If you're stuck between two of those.
So it means, you're effectively walking flat, so there's no up and down. And there's no crossing of tributaries then. I'll leave that with you for a second.
I'll just leave it sharing. Just let me know if you want me to stop sharing it.
Can you not bring that map up, Bern?
I can't bring the one up in Roll29.
Yeah, weird.
But I can see it in the shared one.
Yeah. Maybe do you want to refresh your Roll20? Because that seems quite...
That's okay. I can see the shared one now.
Yeah, okay.
So that's fine. So I don't mind. My only issue is I think that way is through, it's a very, very satellite level map, is through lots of backcountry, that's all. If we were to cross the road and go up past the ruins of Brez, there seems to be roads that take us up towards Valaki and back around, which in theory should be way quicker, but may not be.
Yeah, I think in theory it would be way quicker, but I'm just a bit worried we'll get thrown in jail or something in Valaki. Whether that will be faster or, I suppose, depends on whether we get detected or not.
Yeah, I'm happy to go cross country. I was just pointing out that it appeared to be cross country from what I saw.
Yeah. So what do you have a view, Maddie?
I think going to Castle Ravenloft, not going through Valaki way, the way Maria was saying, is probably the best way, because although Valaki in theory is quicker, I think we'll get fucked if we go anywhere near there.
Well, let's head across country.
All right.
Decision made?
Yeah.
Verdict is, even though we think going via Valaki would be faster, That's only if we don't get thrown in jail. So we're
Yeah, that would be a bad idea for Lucky or Vaktaholt.
amusing thrown in jail loosely for being killed on the road.
Yeah, or we'd have to start going through the woods, and I don't really feel like interfering with any werewolves.
No. So we're doing the ridgeline to the old bone grinder?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so what's your ration situation? So, for your information, it's going to take you 2 days to get to the bone grinder. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll go through tonight and then the next
Mm-hmm.
night. And so that will leave you 1 night left before the wedding. And you'll be at the bone grinder. Which, interestingly, just so you know, was a relatively wise choice because it would take you 4 days to get to the bone grinder if you went by road.
Yeah.
So you guys have ended up making
Cool.
the most appropriate choice. So what I want to understand is, on this journey, how do you see yourselves surviving? Your coats are providing you warmth. You might all recall you have these rather
Mm-hmm.
wonderful coats. And you have some rations. And so let's talk through that. Tell me your plan.
We're going to have to hunt as we go because I don't
Mhm.
think we've got enough rations between us now.
I think so too. Just forage and hunt anything we come across that looks edible.
Right, so can I ask one of you to roll with advantage a survival check?
Who's got the best scope for survival? Wolfril, you're +3?
I don't know, +4.
I'll leave it to you then. Unless Fisk or somebody is higher.
Mine's +8.
+8?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, then you should definitely be
Yeah.
rolling. Woohoo! Is hunting for the pack. So what's for dinner? Rat stew, water rat stew, some fish.
Sorry, I'll be back very quick.
So, alright. I'm taking the first one, which is a 26. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, but 26 is the highest out of 26 and 12.
Mm-hmm.
However, that is sufficient for the party to make itself provisions as you make your way across the escarpments, contouring along the ridge lines. You come to essentially almost halfway, which is essentially where the old where you've been before. As you rightly pointed out, you had essentially done this before, and you find yourselves here overnight.
Is there a map or is it just me? Sorry, it's just flicked.
Yeah, mine went black.
Yeah, found
Yes,
it.
because I've just moved you guys.
Okay, so we're at the bridge in black and white. This is very gloomy.
Very gloomy.
So, is that the one near Sayre Falls, Dunk? On the Barovian
Sorry,
map?
where are you saying you see yourselves?
So, is that where you're saying we are? I can't find us on the map. I can't see the party token. Ah, here we go. Found us.
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We're at the end of the lake, right?
Yeah, in fact, you're probably just here, actually, as night falls.
Yeah, okay.
And you find yourselves coming into your first evening. So there are now, after tonight, 2 nights left before the great day of celebration within Barovia, where his Lord Strahd finally consummates his relationship with Irina? After a short yet formal wedding.
Is the whole of Barovia going?
Well, you'll have to wait and see. Indeed.
Exciting
It is going
times.
to, yes, indeed.
Okay, so who wants to take first watch? Anybody particularly keen?
I mean, I can if you want.
I don't mind.
So you've got Esmeralda with you, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and Nikki, the black heart in your box. Are you doing anything special with it?
Hmm. Nikki, you look like you don't want to do anything yet with the black heart. You're just on mute, love.
She's done that incredibly deliberately to mute so that this she looks like she's doing something, but in actual fact, she's
I
just
really
delaying
want
the
to
decision.
duct tape the box shut.
Duct tape. Where did you get the duct tape?
A new invention.
Some duck wondering what the fuck happened there.
Yeah. It's like, where's
I
my
think
stuff?
Can I tie the box up so it's?
What are you using to tie it up?
I've got some rope, but is that too big to tie up a box of this size?
Yes, it is a little. This is the rope that you've already cut into pieces to tie around yourselves as you went into the room in the Amber Temple, you might recall. So yes, there are bits of rope left, but they are quite thick in comparison to the size of this box, and therefore getting a tight squeeze of rope around it is somewhat problematic. But I'm happy to allow you to give it a go if you would like.
I will give it a go.
Okay, give me a survival check, please. It's not like your survival depends on how tightly you secure the loop.
Really?
No, I just said it's not. Surprisingly, you managed to actually bind it by wrapping it around lengthways and then going back around. So you've like turned into like a sort of rope loaf of bread, and managed to secure it with a rather large knot in the middle. Slightly more cumbersome, but now certainly you feel that the box lid is secure. Who's doing first watch?
I'll
I
do
think it was
first
me.
watch.
No? Okay, Boom. Give me a constitution saving throw, please.
I am trying.
Indeed you are. With a 17, the night falls and the dampness in the air, the mists that have been omnipresent against your face. The entire day as you've pushed along this contouring ridgeline, um, at times you felt incredibly tired, um, bashing your way through, these sort of plains, well not plains, but, sparsely forested parts. Looking down, of course, you can see the Luna River and the salvage forests that sort of fill certainly to the north. In fact, you can almost feel that tonight you can see the glow of Vakterholt almost due north, um, which does give you a little sense of hope that there is still light in this rather dim land. But as you look across to the east, um, you do see that the land falls down to the stair falls and then brings itself back up. And you're not so sure, but perhaps there is a glimmer of glow in the dark mist to the east. Could that be either Barovia or Castle Ravenloft? You're unsure, but as you settle into your watch position, you feel a sense of tiredness that you fight off, peering at shadows in the dark that play across as the moon slowly breaks through some of the mist. It's now the end of your shift. Who is it you're waking up?
I'm waking up Starfire.
Patty.
With the cat meow. Starfire, can you give me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Yep. Sure will. I'm sure that I'm feeling perfectly able to watch after that lovely little rest. Maybe.
Rustled out of your sleep, which you found unnaturally deep. Fisk hands over to you.
Okay,
And
thanks.
tells you that nothing unusual has passed so far. And during the evening, you too start to look around and see these strange glows in the mist, certainly to your north, and a flicker of something to the east. As time presses on, you begin to reflect on your journey and the journey ahead, and you recall the women of the windmill. And it's like you hear a voice, a small, youthful voice, that reaches out to you through the mist. Help me, it says. Unnerved, you shake it off, and you look towards the sleeping form of who, as you're about to arouse them.
I'm going to wake up Ear next.
Alrighty.
Yeah, my dear, could you two give me a Constitution saving throw?
And then I'll explain to Ear that there was a strange voice that said, help me. That sounded like a child.
Ear doesn't do children.
I know. That's why I feel confident that you will be okay on this next watch and not leave us.
Yeah, with the thought of a small child quickly processed and filed away as completely irrelevant to your existence. The night is now very dark. Yawning as you do through your watch. You hear the flutter of wings. At first it's like there's one bird, perhaps taking roost nearby. Then a second, a third now, a fourth, fifth and sixth in great succession. And then silence. It's now the end of your shift. Looking towards Wolfrel or Esmeralda, who is it that you're waking?
Wolfrel.
Wolfrel, my dear. You roll a Constitution saving throw, please.
You're so noisy. What are you doing? What are you doing?
Right.
Oh, damn.
Come here. Come.
Duncan looks so happy.
I know. He's like, yay.
No,
Wolfrel gets carried off by
not
6
yay.
rocks.
He's not yay. He's not yay whatsoever.
Suddenly we awake and there's no Wolfrel and there are the feathers of rocks lying around the ground.
Yeah, that's that.
Hello.
Hello, Nikki. How are you?
I'm good, I hope.
You fall back to sleep, having been roused up, and the next thing you know, a glimmer of light is beginning to pierce through the fog. You suddenly wake with a start, realizing that you've overslept. You look around and you see that Esmeralda, who was to have the last shift, is still sound asleep next to you. At some point in the night, you recall a very sort of shallow period of sleep, a restless anxiety, where you were constantly concerned about whether you had tied the heart together sufficiently. And so you, having looked at Esmeralda and realised that she's still asleep and realised you've let the party down, you look and to your left, underneath the blanket, you see that the box that you had sufficiently wrapped previously evening is undone, and the heart is empty and missing from the box. Quickly, you now decide whether you wish to close the lid, wake your partners, tell everybody, whatever it is you wish to do. But that's where you are at, and so when we go back, it'd be up to you as to what you do. If you decide to wake the people, tell me now. If you want to do anything else with the box before you wake everyone else, tell me that now. But the box is empty and the lid is off and the rope is undone.
I'm going to leave it as it is and wake the party.
Maddie's just being a bit difficult. Come here, Maddie. No. What do you want?
Sorry, guys.
That's okay. Hopefully that was productive.
How badly?
Because like, I don't like this.
So as you guys hear some mutterings from Wolfrall, you awake to a dim dawn breaking to the east, piercing through the fog. The low sun barely lighting what you can see. Dark shadows still fall all around you, but you do realise that this is as good as dawn gets in Barovia.
Is it? Aww.
That's all she wants.
Do we see Wolfrall?
Yeah, Wolfrall's there. She's sitting up.
I'm here, and the box, someone has opened it in the night, and the heart is
Oh
gone.
no.
Oh, dear God.
Oh no.
Even though I tied it up with rope, someone has gotten in.
The rope untied or cut?
Is the rope untied or cut?
Untied.
So we know it was human.
So, where was the box? Where did you keep it? Was it somewhere where everybody could see it, or was it hidden?
It wasn't particularly hidden. I didn't particularly hide it.
Because most of you were asleep, I heard a child saying, "Help me," during the night, but figured it was nothing. So ignored it. Did anybody else hear anything?
No, I didn't hear
Which
anything.
may have been somebody.
Did Esmeralda
some
hear anything?
unsamples.
Esmeralda didn't have a watch.
She got to sleep.
Yeah, Esmeralda wakes up and she goes, "Is it my watch? Is it my watch? I thought I was after you." And she looks towards Wolfrall. Yes,
Yeah.
it is dawn. Yet dawn is upon us.
I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I failed the party, and the heart is gone.
Oh no.
Heart is gone, she says, and she sort of in the morning she's a little bit stiff, and she sort of reattaches her wooden leg, and after a period of time, sort of stumbles over towards you, and with a sword points towards the box and sort of rattles around inside the empty part of it. I see, she says.
Hmm.
I'm going to look through my backpack and just make sure it's not hidden anywhere else that I can find it.
So tell me how you're doing that. What are you doing with your backpack?
I'm going to have it on the ground in front of me and open it in front of everyone and have a look in my backpack. I'm just
Are you pulling stuff out?
Yes. And I'm sort of saying to the party, I'm just going to look and make sure it's nowhere hidden that I don't know about before we move on.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to have a look in the bag of holding?
Yeah. Okay. I'll open up the bag of holding, start rummaging around and go, oh, hubcaps, gold, platinum, loads of stuff.
Mary Poppins.
It is a bit like Mary Poppins, isn't it? I'll be like, so guys, we have.
Now, who has the bag of holding?
I did have the bag of holding, and then I think at one point Wolfra was going to take it because Fisk didn't trust me.
Yeah, I was carrying it, so.
Well, let's go through it together.
So as you go through, are you both doing this simultaneously?
We can sit down and go through it together because we'll have to pull out all the stuff. We can go, look.
So as you do that, a sudden chill goes through you, Wolfra. As in the center of your pack, you find the heart wrapped in a torn piece of cloth. And you recognize the cloth belongs to some of your tunic that you were slept in.
My sleeping tunic. Did
Not
you
your
say?
sleeping tunic, the tunic that you slept in, like, the clothing that you were wearing. Yeah, some part of the under component of it has been ripped out, and the heart's wrapped in it, and you hold it as this sort of chill, and you look up as Esmeralda is looking at you with her sword still there, and she's like looking at you with a deep look of suspicion.
I'm looking at myself with a deep look of suspicion.
I reckon the heart could be evil and maybe influencing you, Wolfra.
Everybody take 2 steps back from Wolfra.
It's like, are we sure we just don't
Esmeralda
want to
does
destroy
step back.
it?
She steps back, as does
Do you still want me to
Fisk.
carry the bag of holding, Fisk?
Fisk, what are you doing?
Fisk stepped right back. He trusts no one.
I can pull out one of the wooden stakes that I have in the bag of holding. We can go through and maybe just stab the heart, stabbity stab, and see if that does any good.
I'm
I can
good with
throw
that.
some stuff at it. Should we just try and destroy it before we set off for the day? While somebody
I'm
has his
happy
breakfast.
already bolted even.
What did it in last time? What made it shrink? Was it the radiant sunbolt I threw at it? Hang on. I think it was, wasn't it? I don't think it liked radiant sunbolt. Let me just try it again while it's on the ground.
So, you cast Radiant Sunbolt at it. Can I just ask, like, what you've done with it? Are you still holding it?
On the ground.
You've placed it on the ground?
Yeah. We said put it on the ground.
It seems to shrivel a little more.
Okay, but still there.
Still there.
How big would you say it is?
It's about pig heart size now.
Okay, so if I hit it again?
Much the same.
Do you want me to try the holy symbol of Ravenkind? What will it do?
Yeah,
Does
go
the
on.
sunlight? I mean, allegedly we're in sunlight. If this is actually sunlight in Barovia.
Let's have a go.
While presenting the holy symbol, make it shed bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30 feet. The light is sunlight and lasts for 10 minutes. Do you think that will do anything?
Oh, if we're already in the sun, maybe not.
But
Not
this is
fully in the sun.
Barovia sun.
We
Oh,
are
so
fully.
this is like pure sunlight. Why not? Give it a go.
So you're going to expend 5 charges and present the symbol towards the heart. Awful.
I think it recharges every day. The holy symbol has 10 charges. It regains 1d6 plus 4 charges daily at dawn. So might as well give it a go and make sure it actually works.
Yep. Why not?
This is what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay, I want everyone to do Constitution saving throws, please.
Oh, really?
And I shall just do a quick set of rolling here.
Really? From sunlight? Us?
God, I've been rolling good.
Wow. I'm not.
So it can hold vampires, which is good. So we can, and spawn, so we can use it at Strahd's castle. Turn the undead. But we don't have that. So sunlight, you can expend 5 charges to make it shed a bright light. Lasts for 10 minutes. Okay. So does that mean we all need shades next time you do it?
Yes, and in actual fact, other than you, Starfire and Ear, the brightness of it, Fisk, sort of blinds you momentarily. You weren't expecting just the level of brightness. Your eyes are really attuned to the dim greys of Barovia. And for the next couple of minutes, any sort of action that you wish to do would be at disadvantage. Ear, you have no effect. Starfire, you either. But Wolfrock, the last thing you sort of see as you hold is you're looking at the thing, and now you find yourself blinded. There's just brightness and a searing pain across your eyes, and you are unable to see anything.
Blinded by the
And Esmeralda's
lights.
temporarily blinded as well?
Yes, she is.
Yeah, okay.
I can feel your touch.
That's because
Hey,
Ears used to bright fires.
It was a good trial run, though. Better to
You
have that than
notice,
disappointment.
Ear and
That's true.
Starfire, that there seems to be no visible effect upon the heart.
Damn it.
I said, ooh, I'm scared.
And I'm
of
not
the
attuned to the
heart.
sword yet. So the sun
You
sword
are
isn't.
you are now
talking to
attuned
me?
to the Sun Sword. Indeed.
Okay.
Kill that bitch.
Okay. I say, Starfire says, so how about we try the sun sword and just see if the
Great
sun
idea.
sword
Cut it.
does.
Slice
Are we?
it.
Yeah.
Like sashimi.
Well, I thought I'd just do a stabbity stab first, if that's okay, and then I can try and slice and dice. So, come on down, sun sword. Oh, that's a lousy throw.
As you go to bring your sword up and to bring it down upon it, you have this feeling of just
What?
waste. This is just pathetic. And it puts you off your slice, and the sword misses the heart.
What do you
Why
mean
does
it's
the
a
heart have a
waste?
DC?
And you're talking about it being a waste. I'm like, okay, sun sword, this is really important. I don't really want to die if this thing comes to life. Do me a solid, and let's just stab it and see how we get on. Okay, let's try that again.
Whoa.
You
Right,
feel
just
like
sword.
a reservation,
Mm.
and it strikes the heart, cuts the heart in half, and 2 slices wobble on either side, shriveling in front of you to the size of rather thick walnuts. Well, half a walnut.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, but still not dead. Does it appear to be healing or regrowing in any way?
You take some time to look at this. Give me an investigation.
Yeah, I'll spend a few minutes because last time it was doing it quite quickly, wasn't it?
Does not appear to be regenerating, and appears to be essentially, withered and lifeless, or much what it looked like before, except less less bulk to it, and somehow even further withered, and now cut in half, of course.
Okay, I think we should move on and keep going because
We've
only got a certain amount of time.
Yeah, no, it's fair enough. That's Vamanos then. Are we going to just put the 2 walnuts into the box and we can open it later? Do we want to leave it and try and bury it? Though that never came. Wolfrill is blinded. You're not permanently blinded though, are you, love? It was just temporary?
Temporarily, she's still blinded at this point with what you've done. It's only a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Do what you like with it. I'm done with Cage's heart.
Let's just leave it.
Okay, do we want to
leave it to the crows?
Put it in the box and bury it, and I'm sure it'll still come back to us because the Dark Powers will always want it back.
What does Esmeralda think we should do with it?
That's a good call. Esmeralda, tell us. What do you think?
Maddie, do you want to take on Esmeralda? What's her response?
Esmeralda reckons that we should leave it as crow food.
Ooh. We think this isn't so good to take with us.
Are we worried, though, that if something eats it, it sort of has the power to take over that organism and we end up with Cage, but in a different form?
I'm a bit worried about that. That's why I didn't eat it.
That's why you didn't eat it? Not because it was a gross
I was
heart?
waiting for that.
I was like, what? Oh, dear God.
That's why I don't eat lots of things.
Okay.
Could turn into this dead pig.
You don't want to turn into a necromancer.
It's difficult, isn't it?
I reckon we just, I don't know, bury it in a shallow hole and keep moving because we can't keep wasting time on this.
Why don't you split up the walnuts?
Sun Sword, what do you think? I'm going to ask my sword.
Apathy.
Yeah. Apathy? Wow. All you want to do is kill vampires, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Fair enough. The Sun Sword is not going to be helpful in this matter. Shall we put the remains in the box and put it in the bag of holding? Or bury it?
I think you should box it, bag it, and tag it.
So put it in the bag of holding.
Fisk, be the deciding vote.
I don't know. I don't want anything to do with it. Put it
Well,
in the bag.
The last time we buried Cage, he showed up as a necromancer.
What will he show up as next?
Yeah, so when I feel like we're burying him, it feels like it's not a long-term solution to the problem.
Let's just do whatever we want to do and go.
How about...
All right, bag of holding.
Bag of holding. We seal it's tied up again. Put it in the bag of holding.
Who ties it? Can someone who's doing that? Wolf, you now have your sight eventually slowly come back, so you're back there. So who wants to tie it?
I don't want to go anywhere near it. I don't trust it.
I'll give it another go if you want me to tie it up. My sight is back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wolf
Should we
ties it up? Give me a survival check, please. Right, wrapping the box, it seems mostly secure. It's a little less taut from as last time, but it's the best that you can do. And you present it now to Starfire to do as she intends.
I'm just going to open the bag of holding and say chuck it in.
Okay, you chuck it in.
Gently. I slide it in carefully.
No, that's not what Starfire said.
Yeah, but it's up to
I'm not
Wolf.
very obedient though.
She took it
That's
off
true.
Wolfroll and she chucked it into the bag of holding.
No, I didn't take it off Wolfroll. I opened the bag of holding for her to put it in, and I
You
said
you chucked it in. Like,
no.
do we
I
need
said
to go back through the record?
I said chuck it in.
Chuck it in.
I didn't say I chucked it in. I said to Wolfroll chuck it in. I'm opening the bag, so I can't physically do both while I hold it open.
Okay. Wolfroll, and you slide it in.
I gently, carefully placed it in.
Okay.
In the most secure manner I could.
That complete. Breakfast calls all of you, and the day's travel begins, I guess. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right.
We're off.
Complete with...
We're off to see the wizard.
Yeah.
The horrible wizard of Barovia.
Now, you find yourselves now at a point where you are some miles from the windmill that you all remember so fondly.
Yes. The old ladies with the weird pastry and possibly some small children.
What is it you want to do? At this particular point, you can contour down to where they are, or you can contour around further to the east, and then you'll find yourselves almost at your day's end. So this will be the 2 nights. Like, after this, there's one more night before the wedding.
So when you say contour, it's just basically go around the windmill. Sorry, I'm just saying.
So you can go. See where you are now. You could go north and down to the windmill, or you can go
that way.
Yep. Or you can go northeast
That way.
down and to the to that saddle that's there between that knoll and the ridge that you're on now, and then pop onto the road and then go around the road.
Yeah, because the road is just over here, isn't it?
Yeah. Or you could contour
Okay.
in the you could either go tonight and contour around to the east, the southeast, around that knoll, squeezing in between the forest and the hill, and then join the road perhaps the next morning or night, depending on what you wish to do.
Near the gates of Ravenloft. So you're saying camp near the forest?
Well, it's up to you, but if you were to get to the saddle, it would be dark by the time you're in the middle of the saddle, right? So the saddle being this particular point here. You could then either go up to the road or you could continue around and pop out over here on the road.
So I guess, how do we feel about camping close to the old women?
Not good.
Not great.
Not good.
Around it, and
we feel they're evil, right? Still?
Yeah.
With their dodgy
I don't want any of her pies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to eat small children.
Yeah.
So tell me what you wish to do.
We'll come back for the children and free them after Strahd.
Will we?
I won't be.
Seems like a personal problem.
So you're going to go this way, and by this point it is pitch black dark.
This way. Is that where we're going?
Yeah, that's where you are. So you're now saddled between a knoll to your northeast, the road to your north, and the old windmill a couple of miles to the west.
Okay.
And the forest is just on the southeast side of this knoll, and it is deathly quiet.
So do we want to camp up on top of, I mean, how big's that? Enough for people? I'm just trying to think if we're...
Oh, yeah. That's like, it's like a couple of miles up there from where you are.
Yeah, I guess it's just what's a better protective position if we've got werewolves coming from the forest? Do we want to be this side of the knoll, or are we happy where we are? Or do we want to be on top of the knoll?
On top.
On top?
Take the high ground.
Yeah, I feel like high ground as well is a better option.
So pushing on,
Yeah.
another night falls, well, has already fell. And you now find position up on the high ground. There is a breeze. There is very little shelter. It's getting quite cold. Do you wish to light fire? How do you wish to stay warm? You could always put your coats back on.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we put our coats on?
Given the darkness has already taken us.
Do we know that? Like, no one told me anything. I just put my coat on.
I don't really feel the cold, so it doesn't really bother me.
I would expect.
I don't feel the
my
cold
character
either.
puts the coat on. He's taken the coat. He's been wearing it. And no one's told him that there's any adverse effects.
So Fist puts his coat on and immediately feels quite snuggly and warm.
Fist, do you want me to bury you in a hole? It might keep you warm. I'll leave your head out, I promise.
How cold is it? Is it like health
Put it
threatening?
this way, if you don't take some action to stay warm, you'll probably wake up quite exhausted.
Oh, I'm pretty good with the cold.
I think I'll put my coat on then. I don't want to be exhausted. I want to be recharged. And I actually think I forgot to have my long rest last night that I was meant to have.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting to long rest as well.
Even though I definitely did.
Oh, you definitely did. You had a sufficiently long rest last night. Okay, now, are you doing anything tonight with the bag of holding, the walnut-sized portions of heart that you all have collected? Anything I should know?
Did we want to have
bury
a look?
that shit and put it somewhere so that anyone who falls asleep during the night cannot reopen it?
Do we want to, take it out and see if it's regrown in size?
Not
before we
really. I
get
don't
to
really.
it?
Well,
Just
we
leave
can
it.
leave it as.
Should we just leave it in the bag of holding?
Yeah, let's do that.
Do you think we should take watches in pairs?
Yeah.
Now that will tell me how you plan to do that, because that will impact your rest.
Some people won't long rest then.
Okay, well maybe that's not a great idea because I'm probably one of the people who needs to. Although,
Now, Nikki, can I get you to roll a 1d6 plus 1, please?
yeah.
Oh, sorry, I think it's 1d6 plus 4, isn't it? Yeah.
Plus what?
Plus
4.
4. This is for the,
Charges.
yeah, charges. So 5 plus 4 is 9. So yeah, so you're back up to 10 charges.
We can always make Esmeralda go and watch with someone. By someone, I mean Wolfrel, not pointing fingers, naming names, but
It could be that they do the first. Well, we could have single watch, double watch, single watch, maybe. Or maybe, no. If we want Wolfrel to get sleep, maybe she takes the early morning watch with Ia and we do single watches before then. Is that better?
Esmeralda did take her watch last night so she could do a double watch with someone.
Yeah, she could do. So, do you want to run it in the same order as last night? Well, start with Fisk. Or do we? Yeah. And then if we skip, it should be Fisk, Starfire. And do we want to go Wolfrel and Esmeralda?
Mm-hmm.
Does that give Wolfrel enough sleep? And then Ia and Esmeralda. So if Esmeralda takes a double watch. Does that work?
Seems okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Dunk, that's the running order then. Fisk, Starfire, Wolfrel and Esmeralda, Ia and Esmeralda.
Okay, Fisk, give us a Constitution saving throw. Okay, it's been a long day, Fisk, and you fall asleep.
Fucking hell, Fisk.
So, sorry, who was after Fisk?
I was Starfire.
Yeah, can you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Of course I can. Did it come up? No.
Yeah.
13.
You wake up with a start. You feel that you've overslept because, as whenever you have like an early morning flight like I do, you wake up every freaking 15 minutes as you're sleeping. You wake up and you see Fisk asleep there. Can you just give me a quick perception check, please?
Sure. I'll just leave Fisk asleep. I won't bother to wake him.
Aim him over the back of the head. You don't watch fool.
She's so much nicer than I would
There's
be. I'll
something
pick
in the
that
mist.
little midget.
It's like there's something. It's
You're going to get a
it's
dagger.
almost
in the
ethereal.
back.
It's like an old woman leaning over Fisk. You're not
Oh,
100%
no.
sure whether it's right or not. But Fisk,
Everything
sleep
right.
is fitful.
I go, hey,
Having
old
these
woman.
dreadful dreams.
Can I take
Not-
the sun sword out and
Not
stab
100% sure what's going on, but it just doesn't feel right. You see things, you see screams, present almost like a canvas of oil and paint screaming at you. What are you going to do, Maria? What's happening?
I'm hitting the ethereal old woman with the sun sword and say, get off him.
Okay, give me a here's 21. There's no apparent immediate effect, except for the swish, 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 get off him, drags Fisk out of his horrid, sweatful sleep. You have had no long rest, and your hit points are permanently reduced by 5.
Who?
Fisk's.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, no.
Sucks a suck, Fisky boy.
Oh, enjoy the knife up the back of your neck one night when you're asleep.
Fisk, you find it incredibly difficult to sleep. The visions that you had, the cold chill that's run down your spine despite the warmth of this coat, has put you into a heightened state of unease, shivering through the rest of the evening. Dawn finally comes. You've had no long rest and no ability to short rest, and your hit points are permanently reduced by 5 until their greater restoration or a wish or something. Yeah, just letting you know.
So, I don't think any of us have greater
Unlucky bud.
restoration, do we?
Not
We
on me.
really,
Esmeralda
we need.
shakes her head and says, "You've been touched by a
I
hag."
do.
He was touched by a what? Sorry.
Esmeralda looks. It would be a hag. A fiend.
Heard.
It's the nightmare hauntings, she says. And she
All
points
right.
to Fisk and says, his soul will be trapped and taken in the hag's soul bag and consumed forever.
I'm lucky, mate. I have greater restoration.
Ah, great. Okay.
Are you
Do you want to
casting
give
it?
that?
I'll get Fisk and I go, you take my next 2 watches, bitch.
Oh, that's it. Bring it in. Bring in the love.
Okay,
The
you
5th level
regain,
spell
you
slot.
regain your hit points maximum.
God damn it.
Why did that
And
come up?
you may take the equivalent of a short rest now, if that is your wish.
You should. We can just go and hunt for breakfast while you short rest.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Hang on, let me have a look. I won't be hunting for breakfast the way I'm rolling.
I actually do know the greater restoration spell. I just don't have it prepared.
Okay. Do you want to hunt for some food then? Because I'm rather lousy at it today. I'm obviously tired from my run-in with the hag and Fisk.
So interestingly, and not planned by me at all, and I'm just cracking it out, just for your information, that if you now move to the road and then proceed along the road towards Castle Ravenloft, you will arrive there in late afternoon
Cool.
with 1 night to go before the wedding.
Time to get our hair done.
Wow.
So,
You'll need it.
before you guys decide what you wish to do, I just give you that information. That it's, I think,
Okay. So after breakfast, we'll move towards the road.
16 hexes along the road to Ravenloft, and you can move 18 hexes on a road a day on the map.
Sweet. So do you think Strahd will be happy to put us up ahead of the wedding?
Up what?
Weren't we being hunted?
Yeah, but he did invite us to the wedding, didn't he?
I feel like we need to show up on the day of the wedding, not the night before, because I kind of don't want to die in my sleep.
Oh, we'd have to set a watch, wouldn't we? Then again, we could be bewitched and I may end up stabbing somebody else and that would be really bad. So, fair point.
I
Okay.
say we just fall short of the castle.
We'll camp near the castle.
Yeah, but not too close.
So is the wedding actually going to be during the day or at night?
It'll be at night, won't it?
I would have thought so.
Yeah.
Do we know?
But if we're going to show up at the castle during the day, they'll all be asleep, right? So we camp out and then we could go in the day and what's his face will be there, the steward. So he could let us in, we could clean up, be nice and neat for the wedding.
That's probably what everyone would be doing. Turning up to clean up, travelling from the road. I wonder who else is on the road heading for the wedding.
I reckon it's going to be the one who
Lady
is fond of ear. So Lady Vakterholt and Vasily, Lord Vasily.
Everyone we never wanted to see again.
Yeah, I still think Lord Vasily Strahd. I still feel Vasily and Strahd are one and the same. But hey, it'll be good. If we see them in the same room at the same time, we'll be proven wrong. Hey, Nick.
Maybe.
Or maybe
personality. So we're still on our knoll?
Yeah,
we're on our grassy knoll.
Yeah. I'm just
I
letting you
think we-
guys work out what you wish to do. You've got the today in front of you. You've got one more night, and then it's the day that the wedding is occurring. And as you have rightly surmised, it may not be actually during the day that the wedding commences.
It'll be that night.
Mm.
So that's the plan then. Shall we eat breakfast and then go to the road, and then we will camp? Sorry, back to my map of Barovia.
Just before the
Do you want me to
castle.
share it again?
Too close.
No, I've got it in pop-up, but it's decided that it's not popping up now, which is weird.
Should be in the handouts.
Yeah,
So I think we're on
I've
this
got it.
side.
yeah, that's right.
Yep,
We're
you're
on that knoll.
Yep, correct.
So we
Which
can
knoll?
travel
That one.
the one just across from Old Bone Grinder before the gates of Ravenloft.
Oh yeah, okay.
Do you think we should stay off the road and try to sneak along the edge of the forest through there?
If it's the day, I would stick to the road
Yeah, I
during the
think
day.
be fine.
And then I would sneak south before Ravenloft and hide. You know how it's sort of, there's that bulge, just so that try and hide out of the view of the castle maybe.
Yeah.
Like come off the road. If we do encounter traffic on the road, we can always get off the road, right? Not a lot of places to hide though.
No.
So we might have to like drop to the south or something of the road and try and use the ridges to our advantage maybe.
At least we'd have the high ground.
Mm.
I'd like to say surely everyone would come in peace to a wedding, but I feel like
Wow.
it's foolish in this instance.
What are we scared of?
Lady Vector. Probably don't
Yeah.
want to run into her on the road.
It depends if she's coming with an army, but I would have thought though the night before she would probably travel the next day, right? So if we're camping the night before, we've got the day to get into the castle, where she would likely travel the day and then have a short period of time to get ready, you would think.
Well, I'm trying to think of the other people we upset, the gypsies.
Oh, the Vistani.
Yeah, we want to watch out for them too, pretty carefully.
Yeah.
We'll only be along the road for a short period, though. I'm sure it will be extremely bad luck to be running into anyone on that tiny piece of road.
I think it's
Leading
we're
to the
probably in
castle
luck.
where anyone potentially is going to the wedding. I know, highly unlikely.
I've performed my role as the Black Hat, and I'll hand over to the Optimus here now. Get us rolling.
I reckon we just make a little run for it through the gates and then go south.
They go south. Wow, okay.
What's that?
Set Falls.
Well,
No, not that
go
far
all the way
south.
south, but just south of the road so that we can camp near the castle but not too close to it.
We're going to try and use the ridge lines to our advantage if we can. Hopefully people won't look up. If they do, we can stay low. So I think that's what we're talking about, is like we'll stay in the road for as long as we can and then possibly try and use the ridge lines to camouflage us to stay away from the castle, like not just immediately in sight on the road. Because we need to camp somewhere, right, before we get to the castle.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon
shall
that's
we-
the way to go.
Should we hit the road and then as we go, we'll try and make a decision as to where there's a good spot, whether north or south, where we feel we're best hidden.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Is that good? Dunk, you good?
I'm good. So I think you guys can move it. So move up to 3 hexes and then stop.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I think that's taking us up towards the road, right?
So you're actually on the road, or if you moved deliberately north?
Sorry, I'm just... No, I was trying to find the road.
Oh, sorry.
And
okay.
I thought I'd move towards the road, but I'm not
Actually,
seeing the road.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, the road. Just let me do this for you.
Like I can see it on the Barovia map, but when I move north, it doesn't look like it, if that makes sense.
Yep, there's the road. I've now put it on to your map. Okay. Alright. Where do you wish to move now? So, in fact, you've come down 1, 2. You could actually be here by moving 3. And so you're about to come
Sweet.
around.
Okay.
About to come around the corner and the gates of Barovia. You're about to.
So that's Castle Ravenloft gates, right?
No, it's the gates of Barovia, not the actual gates.
It says gates. Oh, because it says gates of Ravenloft on the map.
Yeah, correct. Ravenloft. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually is the gates of Barovia, but in your map, I know they're called. I think they've written gates of Ravenloft.
Okay.
So there's.
That explains
remember when after you were shipwrecked, you came to the gates?
Yeah.
On the other side, and then these ones you went through once you left the Sare Pool and went across the falls.
Yeah.
Yeah, same.
That explains a lot then. Because it never made sense for that to sort of be the gates of Ravenloft so far from Castle Ravenloft.
Yeah, so it's the gates of Barovia. So there's a gate there on the road, and then you might recall right way back on the east. Well east of Barovia was a gate as well.
Yeah. Near the Liveless River or whatever it was called.
Yeah.
Ibis River.
So you got the village Barovia, Castle Ravenloft, Barovia. Also, the Sare Pool encampment, all sitting within these gates on the roads. Yeah. Framed by Mount Darkus to the southwest. And the rivers, obviously, the Luna River, etc. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
So, what is it you guys want to do?
Keep walking, keep an ear out. Can I, every now and again, I will throw a perception to see if I can feel or hear, a coach coming.
Yep. Okay. Give me a roll.
Did it come up?
Yep. 22. Yep. In actual fact, as you approach the gates, you get not so much an audio clue, but more a visual clue that there are indeed an encampment of some form a couple of miles ahead. You can see some people moving around in front of the gate. But at this particular range, you can see, with your 22, you can sort of make out that there's, maybe half a dozen people sort of milling around the gate, moving around, and there's like a couple of horses and a tent. That's what you can see as you've sort of come around the corner where you are, essentially. So I'll just move you just a little bit further forward.
Okay. I just tell the others what I see then about this encampment. Can I tell at this distance whether they're like soldiers? Like, could it be Lady Vakta?
No, you just see figures moving. And the rest of you can now see them as well.
Okay, so I guess they should be able to see us then, right?
They're sort of standing around their gate, sort of wandering around, couple talking, others sort of moving around. They're certainly not passing through the gate, and there's a tent just to this side of the gate where their horses are sort of tied up, you can see. You're about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from them. So, like I said, hard to make out exactly what they're doing, but you can see them.
Okay. Do we want to chance it?
Do we think they Vistani?
Yeah, it's a hard call. Vistani, Lady Vakta and her party.
Should we get up on one of the ridge lines?
And try and go around them. Yeah.
If we're still here, we could maybe get up on this ridge line and go. Will that take us too long?
The one to the north.
Go that way.
What would be further that way? Or
The one to the north, except for that bigger loop, which adds some time. Otherwise, it pretty much gets close to following the road. And then we'd have to climb down again across the flat to get back to the road to Castle Ravenloft. But it means we'd be camped up on a ridgeline for the night.
Yeah, which is probably what we want.
Yeah. How far up are these contours, Dunk, in terms of, see that one that goes around the gates of Ravenloft? How high up would that be?
About 100 odd foot, 150 sort of feet.
So they'd still see us if we crouched low. I'm just wondering, depends if they'd notice us. But at least we'd have advantage at being up high. But you're saying we only saw about half a dozen people?
Yeah, it's about 5 or 6. I mean, by this stage you realise, if you're obviously all looking, you realise that there are 6.
Yeah, okay. Well, we could take on 6.
You're not sure what's in the tent.
Yeah. Is it a big tent?
It's a biggish tent. It looks a bit like, very similar to the tents that you saw at the Vistani camp.
At the Vistani camp. So there could be a lot of people in the tent.
Who don't like us.
I reckon we take the ridge.
Yeah.
Do they look like just random travellers, or do they got a militaristic...
At this particular point here, you become aware of horses and perhaps a carriage coming from behind. You're not yet seeing anything.
Oh, this is what we were worried about.
Yeah, I can hear people coming. Let's duck.
So you're going to hide into the forest to the north or to the south?
To the north.
Yeah.
North.
Alright, everyone give me a stealth check, please.
Okay. Ooh. I'm not very stealthy.
13.
Damn it.
Ooh, 23.
I trip.
Whiskey, I'm looking for you for a stealth.
Yeah, it's just very slow for me, unfortunately.
Fisk is always stealthy.
Whoa.
Right, whisking
Super
the
stealthy.
party away. Start by stumbling into the forest. Yet the rest of you manage to camouflage her and, somehow muffle her clumsy bits and pieces.
It's a tail.
But you manage to get in. And are you looking to see what's coming, or are you just focused on hiding?
I would think.
No, let's hide and have a look.
Yeah. You'd want to see who it is.
I agree.
I'm not feeling very stealthy, so I'll just try to hide.
Yeah, I'll just stop what I'm doing and I'll leave the stealth to Fisk. I'm obviously clumsy today.
Okay. Right, so sorry, were you trying to hide?
I was hiding and leaving the stealthiness for Fisk.
Yeah, to what? Look and see what is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, Fisk, give me a perception, please. Unfortunately, the position that you're in, it's hard to actually see any detail without perhaps having to break cover at this particular point. You were all very focused on getting Starfire, who really had no fucking idea about hiding into the forest. So Fisk, as you sort of turn around and try and gain a position to look back, unfortunately you can't see. But what you do hear is a wagon and a number of horses. So there's obviously horses or something pulling the wagon. But there's also at least a couple of other horses making their way past you. They've now left, and they're a couple of 100 yards further to the east.
Okay.
All right, shall we continue up the ridge then?
Yeah.
Ridge Riders.
Okay, so they just disappear off to the east, and you're no longer interested in them. So you're going to now head up to the ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can move 2 hexes now and stop.
So like this way.
Okay.
2.5, kind of.
Right. Yep. So at this particular point, you've sort of lost visibility now of the road and the gates. It's below and it's in the mist in what is now a valley between yourselves and the high ground to your south and southeast. And it's become a little bit lush, a little bit more lush here. It's still not the thick forest of the woods that you just hid in and transited through as you then scarp it up onto this this finger of land. Ahead of you, though, it drops back down. What's your intent? Are you going to go down into that valley, and you know the road does run to your southeast there, and you can catch glimpses of it amongst the the foliage around it, or are you going to go around and contour around, which will be several hours, of course, to get across.
I thought we were going to follow the contour around. Like this one. And then that. Thus staying clear of the road.
Yeah, we kind of like having no visibility with the road, don't we?
So it's now pretty much mid-morning, just to let you know. So it's about, timekeeping wise, it's around 10:30.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got time.
We had time to spare.
Okay, so you can move another 2 around.
Sorry.
That's 3.
No, it was a half.
No, it's there. That's where you are. That's now 11:30. And you now begin to hear the sound of wolves in the distance to the east.
Interesting.
Calling out.
Not ideal.
That's okay. It's broad daylight, right? At least we can see them coming.
Broad daylight in Barovia?
Yeah, but at least we see them better, right? In the day. At least we'll know if they're coming for us or coming for others. I say we just keep going.
Just keep swimming, swimming,
Mm.
swimming. Just keep
Right.
swimming.
Okay. So another hour and you are here if you're contouring. So it's now 12:30.
It's okay.
And where do you want to go now? Continue
Just keep
contouring down to
following.
here at 1:30.
Yep.
Gesundheit.
And here
Bless
you are
you.
at 2:30, and now you have a choice. You are running either down the gauntlet here, still squeezing in around that finger that's down here.
Yeah.
You're going to go up and over. What's your intent?
I would try squeezing through.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a bit of a gap, like it looks wide enough to walk through.
2:30 in mid-afternoon, and at this particular point you see on the road below you a procession of 6 horses, each with a mounted rider.
And do we notice? You go.
I was just going to say, do they have any insignia that they're carrying?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
None that you can see. Any
I was
of
going
you.
to say, can I tell if they're Vistani?
I'll tell you this: these ones do not look like Vistani.
Okay.
It's probably Vakta.
Could be nobles from Vaktaholt. Okay.
You could lightning bolt them now.
Let's not.
They're a couple of hundred
But
yards
let's
away,
absolutely
so
not
you
do that.
have to close with them. They're out of range at this particular point.
I was just trying to give Starfire a little chuckle.
Yeah. It's like, oh, maybe later. Let's keep going. Okay. So we'll squeeze through. We'll keep going.
Okay. And you're now here, and the castle Ravenloft is pretty much right before you. Okay, about a mile and a half, 2 miles away. What do you wish
We
to
were
do?
just going to camp out of sight on the ridge lines, right? Try and find some
There,
space.
or do we go around and stay there?
Or even up here, where it's a bit wider. But there looks to be space where the putty is there. Hang on, sorry.
Yeah.
This is a bit wider, but doesn't matter. I think we're trying to be out of sight, aren't we?
Yeah.
Should we just come around to this bit? Because then hopefully the curve will hide us. If we're tucked away, they won't see us if they're coming this way down the road.
So by the time you get yourselves into that position now, night is falling, and the castle flickers to life in front of you. And it is now the last night before the wedding. And I've lost my pencil. It fell down. Anyway, cross it off once more.
It's okay.
And it is now coming into the 36 to 24 hour cycle of the wedding as night falls. You see the towers alight, you see the courtyards lit, and there's a bustle of now continuing traffic flowing in. You see coaches now. It's almost as if there's more traffic on the road now that night has fallen than there was during the day.
That could be a lot of vampires coming. I ask my sun sword, I'm like, are you feeling excited? Are you feeling excited?
You can see that outside the castle there are encampments that have been set up. And in fact, there seems to be almost like there are guards walking around the encampments as well. Now, night has fallen. You've taken all this in. Are you sleeping? Are you going on watch? Are you sneaking into the castle? What's your intent?
I think watch.
Hmm.
I don't
I'm
think
not
there's any
sneaking into a
sneaking at
castle
night.
with a lot of vampires.
Not at night, no. We'll sneak in during the day when they're all sleeping, and then we just have to deal with the humans. So
Esmeralda has snuck in there once before. I don't disagree with you about probably not sneaking in at night, but I wonder if she has any past experience with sneaking in.
Indeed she does. Funny you ask. She says yes, there are a couple of ways that we could sneak into the castle. Perhaps we could make a plan to do that again.
we could. A plan is a great idea.
Well, she says, shall I make a light? She sort of unfurls some paper in the dark.
No, maybe not draw attention to the fact we're on a ridgeline with light.
She says, then perhaps we best wait in the dawn and I shall sketch with you.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's just work out our shifts. Do we want to do the same but not Esmeralda on a double shift?
Yep.
I feel like this close we should probably, I don't know, it feels like we should automatically double up so nobody sleeps.
I think so too, because we're like toe stiff with someone falls asleep on watch.
Yeah, especially this close. It could be a problem.
Dad, you're on mute if you're trying to talk.
Sorry. I muted the sneeze and forgot about it.
But yeah, I think we should pair up.
Yeah.
So you're not going to long rest, and in fact, I'm not sure if you can see, but that is quite the view that you almost have of Ravenloft Castle there,
Yeah.
from your exact perspective. So
It's good for making a plan.
So you guys can work out what we're going to do, and in 2 weeks' time,
We'll enact our plan.
just before Christmas.
Are you going to be able to?
Is everyone good for 2 weeks' time?
That's 2 weeks.
I'm good. I'm just wondering about you guys. Are you traveling or doing
That's the
stuff?
19th. Yeah, no, I think I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
very good.
fine.
Okay, and at that point, we shall
Leave it there.
so can I just check your intent is to go into the castle in 2 weeks' time? Because I've got a lot of prep, if that's what it is. I mean, I've got prep.
Yes.
I'm ready, but I just want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the intention.
You want to prep for what is the red wedding, don't you?
So before we close down, because we'll probably want to think about this, can Esmeralda tell us the options that she helped us verbally without turning on a light?
She says there are some ways that we can sneak into the lower parts of the castle.
Is that from this side of the castle where we are to the north, though?
She says it's from the east.
But the east is where the road. Oh, sorry. Yeah, west is where the road is to the east. Okay. So.
And it wouldn't take us all day.
Okay. That means coming down a couple of ridges and then around. Okay. Does she say how long it will take from here?
No, she doesn't. A couple of hours
Okay.
to get there if we have to, if we're moving very, very cautiously.
Mm-hmm.
Which we will be. Okay, and we need to go back and read the notes. I'm pretty sure Strahd said we were safe if we came in time for the wedding, right? I think. Don't know.
Yeah, I thought he said that he was going to hunt us.
And then if we made it, we were okay.
Yeah.
So I think we're good.
Good-ish.
Nikki, I really like your background picture, but they just remind me of weeping angels. I feel like I shouldn't be blinking every time I look at your picture.
Why is that?
You don't watch Doctor Who and the Weeping Angels?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that.
That's probably one of their scariest ones ever. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it scared the shit out of me as a child. I don't think I slept for like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty. It was pretty full on when I watched it too. I was like, fuck.
Are you watching the latest one, the last series with Jodie?
No, I like the rest of the world of dropping things on it. Like, yeah.
It's weird and it's not as well written, but thank God Russell T Davies is coming back as the writer. But it's worth it just for all the Weeping Angel stuff and things like that.
Oh, really?
This last series, it's got like all the different foes, and it's actually, although it's jumping around, it's really good in terms of just the storyline isn't quite where you think it's going to go. So it's worth having a look.
Okay.
But just hang in there for Russell to come back for the next season.
Right. Hanging in. All right, guys.
Yeah.
I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Dunk, for all the
Bye.
prep.